As someone who's worked in the heating and air for years, I've been in countless older homes across the Twin Cities, and I can tell you there's one thing that keeps me up at night: asbestos. This stuff was everywhere in older buildings. Insulation, ductwork, pipe wrapping, and disturbing it can release dangerous fibers into the air. That's why I want to tell you about solutions for asbestos-free environments. Acronym: SAFE, S-A-F-E. And trust me, that acronym says it all, because safety is exactly what they deliver. They're certified by Minnesota Department of Health and fully compliant with EPA and OSHA standards. We at Twin City Heating, Air, and Electric use SAFE for abating asbestos during older boiler and gravity furnace replacements. Our electrical team relies on them when drilling through asbestos sidings and floors. I trust them with my customers' safety, and that says everything. Whether you're replacing that old furnace, renovating, or buying property, SAFE provides professional inspections and certified removal services. I've seen what happens when people skip the inspection and just start tearing into walls. Don't take chances. Visit asbestosservices.services to learn more and schedule your inspection today. That's asbestos.services, ASBESTOS.services, because your safety matters.
From working in his family's Chinese restaurant, to bartending, to becoming present-day owner of Twin City Heating, Air, and Electric, my father's true superpower is human connection. Now, he's on a mission to capture the most fascinating stories that make up the Minnesota community. You're listening to the Twin City Tales podcast.
Welcome to Twin City Tales, the podcast celebrating the people who make the Minneapolis-St. Paul area special. I'm your host, Wymond Wong, and today's guest truly embodies the entrepreneurial spirit. Troy Thompson grew up right here in Blaine, played football for the Bengals, and learned sales the hard way, going door to door, selling books during college summers, working 80 hours a week from sunrise to sunset. He's since built two successful businesses: Pinnacle Insurance of Minnesota, continuing his father's legacy, and Savvital, a virtual assistant company founded on the belief that in our age of AI and automation, human connection matters more than ever. Troy's firm believer in face-to-face relationships and someone who's never, ever afraid to try something new. Even his innovative flip phone challenge proves his commitment to personal connection in business. So grab a coffee, settle in, and join us as we explore Troy Thompson's journey from football fields of Blaine to building business that put people first. Let's get into it. Troy, welcome to the show.
Wow, what an intro, Wyman. Thank you so much. Can't wait to talk and be part of this interview. It's exciting.
You're an amazing young man. That's all I know. And you grew up in the Blaine area. How was that growing up in this area?
Yeah, it's pretty close to here, right off 105th and Central, pretty much behind the old John's Auto Parts. And grew up in Blaine. Went to didn't go to Blaine. Well, I did go to Madison, and then Northdale, then Totino Grace, then Blaine High School my senior year, as you said. But yeah, it's home now. I live in Ham Lake, so it's all very close. Office in Coon Rapids, kids' school at Epiphany, so everything's about 15 minutes from each other.
A lot more farm fields when you were growing up over.
Yeah, this was a farm field where Target and TPC, all of it was sod fields.
Craziness, and it's really growing.
Oh yeah,
but for the better, I feel like.
Yeah, Blaine's up and coming. Got Shields coming. So
yeah,
let's go. We got Wago across the street.
Yep. And I believe they're bringing in a professional baseball.
I heard that too.
Stadium here with an MLB team that, or might be MLB, might be an independent league.
I guess we'll find out. I'm excited.
I guess first pitch they said originally was supposed to be 2026. I don't know if it's going to happen.
Probably not.
Yeah.
What is Shields, like 2028 or something?
Yes. Could be dead by then for me. So you went from Totino Grace to Blaine High School your senior year to play football. That was a bold move. What drove that decision? And do you consider it one of the best decisions you've ever made? I know it's high school. It's not like
Yeah. I do. I don't know if did I tell you that or something, Wymond? Because that is life all like Bud Fox says in Wall Street, life all comes down to a few moments. I guess this is one of them. And that was one of them where, I was upset for not playing as a junior at Totino Grace, even though we were a good team and I was good and stuff. They didn't start me. So I said, I'm going to show them. And I decided to go to Blaine, pretty much an unknown, but made the team, started every game. And it was the best decision I made at a young age to prove to myself that, sometimes you just got to trust your gut and make a change. And it worked out for the best. So it was a great experience.
What did your dad say about that? Because I'm sure he saved some money from you.
He wanted me to go to Grace, and I'm going to have my kids go to Grace. I think it's a great school, especially these days with schools and stuff. So, but I don't remember him saying not to do it. I think he probably knew my decision had been made, and it was a good one. So
yeah. And then you actually went on to play cornerback at UMD too after that.
I played some at UMD like 3 years, but again, lots of injuries. I wasn't the best player by any means, but I did get some money to go there, and
not NIL money, is it?
No.
Not portal money.
It's crazy these days, isn't it? With this kind of money. Now you can go down to high school.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, man, that might be some ideas for both of us to go after some good high school kids.
Yeah.
Why not? Get to them when they're young and watch them grow. But yeah, I went to UMD and played football, but football wasn't even the big thing for me. There I found out about Southwestern, which is a door-to-door book sales company out of Nashville, where you go to a different state for the summer and just sell books for 80 hours a week. And that was another huge moment of my life where I learned how to sell and run a business.
Yeah, I was going to bring that in when you went door to door and you said, screw it. I think when we had a conversation before, and they recruited you out of college to go sell it, didn't they?
Yeah. So I saw the kind of money you could make. I saw it was kind of like sports for, college kids, adults in a way, where you could compete. You could make the PC club or the President's Club and stuff like that, which I loved. It's like, if I go out and work hard, I can win trips and make a lot of money in the summer and compete with other kids around the country. And it really did teach me how to sell, and really propelled me into business with a lot of the things I've done with business and selling.
Wow.
So yeah, I did it 3 years, Arkansas and Michigan for a couple of years, Troy and Rogers, Michigan, and Bentonville, Arkansas, the home of Walmart. In fact, I talked to Jim and Lynn Walton, worth $20 billion at the time, and I knocked on their door. And it would be a good story if I could say Jim Walton bought books from me, but told me they were pretty dialed in on the books and turned me down. The cool part of that family is like worth $20 billion, and they were in a very humble, probably at the time $300,000 house. There no security, nothing. I just walked right up to the door and knocked on the door and talked to them.
Interesting.
That's pretty cool.
That would have been a great experience.
Yeah, it was fun. My heart was beating pretty loud, but I was like,
did you know it was their house as you walked up to it?
Because that's what you do with Southwestern is you get what they call pre-approach. So you learn about your prospects, just like you do in sales. Like if I was going to call on Twin Cities Heating and Air, I would learn about Wymond Wong and what makes them tick, and when I come by, I'll use that to get in front of you. So I obviously knew who the Waltons were and people in the community that recommended them. And you do the testimonials. You might know this person, the principal of the middle school bought the books, and you use testimonials to get people excited and get them to try to buy. But Jim wasn't having it, which was fine.
And in that day and age too, you probably didn't have the internet to look up people, did you? I mean, that was
internet. You talk to people.
You talk to people, yeah, face to face.
That works. Face to face works.
Yeah. You get a lot more, I think, retention that way too, rather than just trying to dial it up on the internet. And you get all sorts of, like, I wouldn't say opinions, but I think you get more untrue facts through the internet.
Yeah. The internet can be good, but it also, I think analog and going into the analog space more and more, like you and I doing face-to-face conversations, talking to people on the phone is more of a superpower than even AI is these days, because everyone thinks technology and getting on the internet is somehow going to make them money. And it's a great tool, but you can get lost in the internet too and lose your personality, lose why people would want to work with you. So,
you know, what's really been scary more recently, internet, everybody talks about AI, and we'll get into a little bit more with your Savvital, but what really scares me about AI is they're doing these videos now, and some of you have to take a double take to see if it's real or is it not real. What do you make of that?
I agree. I love sometimes sharing some of these the fake AI videos with my dad. Like, look what this guy said. That's so fun.
Does it get your dad going? Does it get Mike all worked up?
I can get him worked up on stuff. I feel kind of guilty, but hey.
And it's hard to tell if it's real or not, which is really scary.
It is scary, and it's only going to get scarier. Which is why I come back to face-to-face. You can't fake that. Phone call to phone call, you really can't fake that yet, but that's why it's more and more imperative to become good at that, because when it's all said and done, that's all we're going to have is our humanity and our face-to-face connections.
Yeah, you know, it's really interesting because you talked me into it about 10 years ago. The flip phone. It
wasn't 10. But we can,
was it 10 years? Was it not 10 years ago?
It was about 6,
7 years ago.
I remember it was right before COVID.
Time flies, though. I don't know. Maybe it was.
It was.
But you talked me into it. It was really interesting. And for our audience that's not heard about this, I thought Troy had a great idea. He wanted to bring back the flip phones when smartphones were getting really popular. And you came up with that idea, you were telling me, as at a karate lesson for your kids, wasn't it? Or maybe it wasn't that. It was you just were at some event and everybody had their heads down in their phone.
Yeah.
Tell me a little more about
Gymnastics.
that.
Well, you see it. I mean, it's more, this idea is not groundbreaking either. It's like we go to a flip phone and be able to enjoy things like your kids' karate or gymnastics or whatever, because you're not looking at your phone the whole time, and instead you're watching your kids. That applies to anything and everything. You know, we're addicted to our phones. Again, nothing that we haven't all heard before, but I think we just, if you go to something, and the reason I stopped doing it is because when COVID hit, then everything was online and you had to use things like how they get you is like multi-factor authentication. You can't log into any websites without a text to your phone and like a link to click on your phone. So it's harder and harder to use something like a flip phone. However, I've come up with some workarounds that I still use. Could I share them with you?
Absolutely. I think that'd be great.
The biggest one is just taking your phone. I have it looks like it's a little bit smaller than a shoebox. And there's these digital lockers for your phone. And you have to break them to get in. So you can set the timer, like when I get home, like tonight, I'll set it for 2-3 hours. So that means I'll have 2 or 3 hours where I can't touch my phone and it's just locked. And it's amazing how it frees you knowing you can't even look at your phone for that amount of time. And then you're able to like relax and talk to your family and do whatever with them. Even watching TV is, something we always said was a bad thing. But if you watch TV with someone and you're not on your phone, you can talk about the show. You can connect. You're laughing. You're not. I mean, these days everybody's on their phone as the show's going on. It's just an epidemic. So, that's the biggest thing I would say is find a way to lock your phone away. And you can find these things on Amazon. I don't even know what the name of the product is, but I think there's probably multiple of them.
I think that's a great idea because I noticed like when I've got some downtime with my wife, and we're watching TV, or no, it's just as simple as going out to dinner, right? Let's say you're going to dinner. I think when you have that phone in front of you and something pops up, I think you're telling the other person, whether it's your wife, significant other, even your kids, right? That phone is more important than you. And that's a hard thing.
Dogs notice it.
Really?
My dogs are always, if I'm like sitting down and they want my attention, they put their snouts under my hand, like, get rid of your phone. Like, they know I'm looking at the phone. So they're like, it's true.
Although we have an app where it buzzes the app or dings the app a certain tone when somebody is home. Like before you even pull into the garage or within that half a mile, and when they hear that, the dog goes nuts.
Oh, really?
Hey, they're home. Somebody's going to be home.
That's cool.
So I guess that Pavlov's theory all works.
Yep. That's true.
But yeah, so by doing that, I think that is great and just trying to get rid of it. But there's also the other side, right? Like if I'm watching a movie or watching a film with I shouldn't even say film. It's no longer film, right? It's what year is this? But I want to look up like the other day, right? Like I'm looking up like, oh my gosh, is Ray Liotta still alive, right? So, but then.
Hey. Wymond, why can't you just look it up later? Why do you? Because our goldfish brains are used to accessing any and every bit of information instantly. And we have to learn to be okay with wondering that question and, hey, I'll check it out in 2 hours when the movie's done. If I forget, I guess it wasn't that important anyway. Because you're not watching the movie if you're on your phone looking up his age or whatever.
That's true. It's that instant.
I'm not perfect. I'm on my phone all the time.
It's that instant gratification.
Yep, you're right.
It really is, and we got to learn. Well, good point. Adam Irwin the other day, when he was on the podcast, he says, patience is probably the thing that we all need to work on. And that's part of probably we don't need to know instant gratification.
We don't.
Just, hang tight.
If you don't know the answer to something, let your brain try to think about what the answers should be. Instead of, I'm going to chat GPT it and get all the, because what we're becoming is dumber and dumber. It's like Idiocracy. Have you seen that movie?
No, not yet. Oh, wait, I have seen bits of it.
This is true. I mean, Idiocracy is a lot of truth is that movie foresaw a lot of where we are today about how dumb people have gotten. Because if you get all the answers, you don't have to sharpen your brain or grow your brain, stretch your mind. It's just all there in front of you all the time.
Well, hopefully it's not like the movie, is it Wall-E, where they all on a spaceship, like out there for like 40 years, and they all got kind of fat and lazy, and they really didn't have to work their brain much, and everything was traveling.
Really?
Like through space.
I haven't seen that.
Was it? Do you remember that movie? Was it Wall-E? Yeah. So they didn't have to
check that out.
Yeah,
but I'll check out Wall-E. You watch Idiocracy. You'll love it.
I'll have to see that. And talking about that, it's the same thing, because I think sometimes we forget, especially the kids kind of get it. And I want to say it was maybe 4 or 5 years ago when Dan and I went to a basketball game, and I'm on my phone, I'm texting, I'm trying to deal with business.
Took a picture of you guys?
You took a picture of us? That was way before that. But I just remember him saying, and it was like an epiphany. He says, hey, the game's out there. Mm-hmm. We paid so much for the tickets. They're expensive as it is. And why ain't I having life in front of me, right?
Yeah. It's hard because our brains are not we're used to all that instant gratification stimulation. We need to see the notifications and just check Twitter or whatever all the time for no reason. But we're all in it together. Hopefully it'll get solved at some point somehow.
I hope so. I feel like it's the same way with like going to sporting events too, that they constantly have to hammer with you with some sort of mind stimulation, right? Like in the old days, like if you go to a North Star game, you can hear the puck go across the ice. You can hear them skating. They don't keep pumping that music in like at the Timberwolves game. Like anytime they have a break, they have to constantly play music at a loud tempo. Even during the game, as they're bringing the ball up court, they're playing that thumping music.
Really?
Do you know what I mean? Just trying to keep your mind stimulated, which I don't know if that's any good, because it doesn't give you a chance to reset.
Yeah, and absorb the environment. And I mean, I could say the same about Disney World. We brought our kids to Disney World. You need your phone all the time for everything. You can't go to a restaurant without reserving restaurant reservations on your phone. You can't there's pictures and apps, and you're basically required to be on your smartphone the whole time you're at Disney World. It's like, how magical is that, right? You try to go to Disney World to be off your phone, and they require you to be on your phone the whole time.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But I feel like sometimes the more you're trying to disconnect, you're right, they're trying to connect you more. What are your ways of, besides that, coping with it, right? Like you're learning to do more and more with it, but it's pushing you more into it. Like you said, you have to have authentication, two times authentication.
Yeah, multi-factor authentication and stuff like that.
How are you doing that, or what are you teaching your kids?
Well, one thing, that's a good question. And I'll tell you, our kids, we're at 13 and 12 now. The goal is to get them to 18 without a smartphone. So I talk real tough, and maybe it won't happen, but they're going to get a big fat check if they can get to 18 without a smartphone. And it's going to be hard for them to get a smartphone because we're going to have to approve it. But so we're giving them a big carrot, though, at the end. And I think it is for the reason that, I mean, we've talked about, but it's even more of a problem for kids, and kids being raised by digital devices and not being able to communicate with anyone and not growing, and all the problems with online and, bullying and everything else that can come with a smartphone.
Yeah. And it's a really good, interesting predicament that we have here, because I feel like the older generation, when the TV was out, right? Like the complaint was, all you do, kids, is just sit in front of that TV. You guys do nothing but watch TV, right? Like you'd still go out, but you're right. You'd have to catch a show at a certain time. You couldn't stream it, so you catch it at any time. So there was still some responsibility to that. But now it's like you said, like these kids, I mean, when they go to restaurants, they have a phone in front of them or an iPad, and they're like 3 years old, that the parents are still trying to just entertaining them with that. So there's no interaction, rather than like when we were younger, the parents would have to interact with you.
You're the king of communicating, Wymond. And you're probably who you are because you didn't have a phone. Imagine you'd probably be a dud if you grew up with a phone in your face the whole time, right? We're lucky that we didn't have to go through that as kids.
Yeah,
we really are, and it's sad what's happening.
Yeah, and I like to talk just to hear myself talk sometimes. So I don't know if that's always good. But it is true. I feel like that really does disconnect us, which is just crazy. But that was great on your flip phone. And then before that, and I wanted to talk to you more about like you talk about trying to stay focused with certain things, right? But as an entrepreneur yourself, you've gone from one thing to another, because that's the one thing that I think also that digital stuff thrives on, right? Like people with ADHD, right? Like they don't focus on one thing. And I know we've talked a little bit about different business failures, one of them being the flip phone, but you did Tri-Speed at one time when I first met you. And I know you were okay to talk about it. You're laughing now. Like I don't know if I should have brought it up, but what was Tri-Speed about, if you want to remind me again?
So you and me and Sarah knew about it, right? My wife?
Yeah, maybe.
I don't even think we were married at the time, but anyway, you're probably the three people that would know. I think she came up with the name, actually. I used to, right out of college, I sold cable door to door for Comcast and Quest at the time and stuff like that. And we were going to be contractors and start our own door to door company. And the speed was phone, internet, cable, Tri-Speed, or that was a 3. So that was a good name. I don't even think it ever took off. I mean, literally, I rented that office at my dad's building for like 2 months. I think that may have been when I decided to get into insurance. So it's
Your dad talked to you into that point.
into insurance. No, my dad didn't talk to me.
Oh, he didn't.
About insurance. I really wish I could piece together what happened with Tri-Speed, but it was so irrelevant in my life that I don't know. But
Well, maybe it hits me funny because, your dad was a big part of us probably connecting, and your dad was such a great businessman. And I remember having to take down the sign on that building, that Tri-Speed sign, because it was up there like forever too. Remember that? Because it was even after you had moved to that your dad's insurance company, and you moved to that other building off of Foley there. Pinnacle moved there, but Pinnacle had started in the building that your dad sold me. And the one thing, I hope Mike is going to be listening to this one or watching this one. The one thing is, I do owe a lot to Mike, your dad, because I think at some point we all need a little help in our life, right? Like whether it's somebody from the outside or a family member. But what's really amazing about your dad was he put more trust and faith in me to succeed than I did in myself. Because I still remember that I started renting from him again after my business kind of took a little nosedive, and then I started renting from him again, and he would come in and pick up his check. He liked that face to face. I feel like you get that from him, right? Like that was important to him. I didn't Venmo him the money. I didn't like ACH it. He actually wanted to come in, get a physical check, and see how I'm doing and talk to me.
yeah.
Right? And he comes in one day and he goes, "Hey, how's it going? You have a check ready yet?" And I'm like, "Mike, you make more money than God." And he says to me, "Well, if you don't like it, why don't you just buy the building from me?" And I'm like, "I can?" He goes, "Yeah, you work hard. I trust you. Well, I can make something work for you. We'll make it work." And he actually
Make
did.
the deal.
Yeah, I just the long and short of it is he carried me for $100,000 on that building for 3 years, and that I only had to dump in, I believe, about 60 to the bank to make the percentages work. And 3 years, and he gave it to me at a low interest rate, super low interest rate. And
That's cool. He's done a lot of good things. People look at my dad and think he's pretty gruff and rough around the edges, which he is, but he does a lot of great things for people. And that makes me feel good to hear that he did that for you, Wymond. You deserve it. You're the American dream.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, no doubt.
Having him as your dad, can you share a little bit more about his influence on your business journey?
Yeah. Well, I was able to buy into Pinnacle a year or two after I started there, maybe 3 or 4. I don't know. But first of all, I always thought, well, people keep saying you're lucky, you're Mike Thompson's son, which would piss me off because when I started, it was the middle of January of like 2009, something like that, 2008, 2007, I don't know. And I started knocking on doors, and my dad didn't give me a base salary. The only time I ate is when I sold the policy. So I'd be knocking on doors selling insurance. I would give him all the leads because I was like, I just want to focus on door knocking. I don't know the insurance lingo yet. And he would put one in his name and one in my name. And that's how we started. So I helped grow the agency. So I think people might have thought my dad was giving me leads and giving me all kinds of like sweet money and stuff like that. It was hard. I made $12,000 my first year working for Pinnacle and working for my dad.
That's a lot of ramen and eggs that you're
Oh, yeah, it was hard. But now, hindsight, I would get fired up about it all the time. But slowly, as the years have gone on, and now it's been like, 17 years, I tell everybody that I talk to how lucky I am to have him as my dad and to be able to have bought into Pinnacle. And sure, we grew it. I think we quadrupled it, whatever. That since I started buying him out, since he retired about 9 years ago. And I tell everybody that's all because of him. And I really appreciate my dad giving me the opportunity. In fact, the last check I wrote to buy him out completely was this month, December of this year.
Congratulations.
So, yep. Now we're, he's done, but he's always remembered. We have pictures of him up in the office, and he still comes in. He was in today. He was in today showing me a quote of farmers, like farmers got it way cheaper than auto owners. Like, just leave. I'm like, by the way, I pay for your cell phone, I pay for this and that. Well, okay, maybe I'll think about it a little. That sounds like something he would do, right?
It absolutely does. Like they tend to not quite leave the business, do they? And that was his deal, right?
Yeah.
Probably you knew that going
He
into
probably
it.
thought I'm going to shop my insurance because now I'm done getting a big check from him every month. So I'm going to show him I have some power. Man. So anyway, I give him all the credit in the world, and we're lucky to have a great relationship because I know a lot of businesses can go south when it's family and buyouts and things like that, but we never had any issues. And it was similar to you, a good interest rate and all done on a handshake deal where, I didn't have to get any financing or anything to buy him. It was just all part of the monthly payout.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, and that's part of family too. That helps, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
like I know I was in business with my dad somewhat when he had the restaurant back in the early 90s. And that was kind of a handshake deal. And he did take care of me. He ended up paying all my student loans off through that and things like that. So there's like good tax benefits in doing something like that with your parents, right? Or your dad. And God rest his soul. I mean, he was kind of one of those, I hate to say it, cheap Asians, right? And towards the end of his career, he knew where his bread and butter was. Like, and he worked so many years working hard, like your dad, right? Like he can come and go, see the quote I got, right? This is what you're dealing with, right? And my dad would come in probably like right after lunch hour at the restaurant and maybe empty out a few garbage cans and go, hey, is the deposit ready yet?
Yep.
And then you wouldn't see him till the next day.
Yep, that was actually my dad. So we put him on automatic payment. So he would get his payment second or third every month. And my wife made sure to turn that sucker off this month. She was like, I know what we'll do. We'll just stop paying rent, We'll just take it out of his rent every month.
So towards the end there, now it was about 10 years ago when he'd come in for rent, but did he still like to, well, obviously he'd still like to come in and get a rent check from you, didn't he? But you guys were on automatic pay. So
no, we're not automatic pay for rent. We should be. I should tell Sarah that, man. But he needs a reason to come in.
He does.
He's a face-to-face guy, which is a good quality to have.
It is.
I mean, because you can get a lot from just sitting across the table talking to someone face-to-face about what's going on.
And that's might be one of the reasons why he trusted me. That was
of course.
Because if I probably never saw him, he probably would have never made that offer.
Never. He liked you.
Yeah.
You got that quality about you, Wymond. People like you.
I was very blessed. But he also helped you with business. I know Pinnacle is like your mainstay of everything, and we'll get into Savvital a little bit here, but because you got into the different businesses. But what makes Pinnacle Insurance different from in this? It is a crowded market out there right now.
Well, we all can say we have a lot of good carriers. We have great carriers. We got Auto Owners, which is one of the best, but we have the most Google reviews in the state of Minnesota.
I was going to ask you about that. I had that on there.
Pretty much. We have a Ramsey trusted endorsement. So Dave Ramsey, if you were to put in, you want a quote, as long as you're on the west side of the metro, it would be us and a percentage of the east side too. So we pay a ton of money to Dave, but it's worth it. And we've been Ramsey trusted for like 15 years.
Yeah.
So those are a few differentiators. Great team. Great service team and sales team, turning quotes around within 24 hours. Annual reviews are another huge thing that we do. So we do a lot of stuff right. Everybody's panicking now with rates and with this hard market, as I'm sure you've seen. So, retention's been tough for us, but I keep telling my team it's for everybody. Everybody's shopping everyone right now, and we're doing better than most.
Yeah, we're still with you guys. I love the $2 bill you send me every time my birthday rolls around.
Yeah, you got it. I personally put that in. Not everybody gets that.
Really?
Just you.
No, come on. No, you know why? Because my wife gets one too.
Yeah.
Whenever
Well,
they
yeah,
roll
that's what I
around.
meant.
So
The
we're all-
Wongs.
No, that is awesome. But yeah, you just said like you have the most reviews in Minnesota, and obviously that doesn't happen by accident. And for business owners listening out there, what's your philosophy on customer service and reputation that got you there, and how did you get that? That's pretty amazing.
I think we were just maybe a little ahead of the curve and started pushing for them before a lot of people thought how important they were, and now we're pretty far ahead of most people. So, doing a good job intentionally asking every time. Leah on our team is always asking for reviews. She takes a lot of pride in getting reviews and having her name mentioned. So, yeah, doing good customer service, sales, asking for the reviews, and that's all I can say. Oh, if you're a business owner out there and want to get reviews, here's a little tip. I don't even think we do it anymore, but we would get the confirmation that someone would want to give us a review. So we send them like a $5 or $10 Caribou gift card before they leave the review. So now they will feel obligated once they get that gift card in the mail. Like, okay, they said, thanks for the review. I haven't even left the review yet. Now I better leave it. So that's a little tip that you can all use.
That's a smart idea.
Yeah.
If it was $20,
Reciprocity. Yeah, right. Have you ever left us a review?
I think I have.
Okay, good.
I usually
I'm
do.
sure I have with you guys too, but
No, you have for sure.
yeah.
I remember coming over to your house. That was me personally back in 2016 or 2017 when we were starting to rebuild. And you and I took some pictures out there.
Yeah, back by
baby
the
tiny.
air
By the air
conditioner.
conditioner. Are you even in that house anymore? It's a little. It was a townhouse.
We still have it. We have renters in it now.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, we delayed gratification there. We were in that house a long time, but
Patience.
that's right.
Patience.
That's
will
all
get
about.
you there.
Mm-hmm.
And then as you were developing, well, you grew Pinnacle, and I remember you telling me about that little crazy thing about you should look at these virtual assistants,
Mm-hmm.
and then you got into like Savvital.
Yeah.
How did you create that company, identifying a need from your insurance? I think
Yeah.
that's what you were telling me.
Yeah, we have 5 full-time virtual assistants now. And for you listeners out there that don't quite know, I mean, this is offshoring. So our people are in Pakistan and the Philippines. And so reverse back 6, 7, 8 years, I started using VAs. Some were good, some weren't as good. And then I found a really good guy directly off of Fiverr that I developed a relationship with. His name's Mo. His real name's Mubaraz, but he goes by Mo to make it more Americanized. And he did a great job. So he brought in a couple other guys that did a great job at Pinnacle, just doing all the back office quoting and stuff like that. And I knew Mo, very sharp guy. I knew he wanted more, and I wanted more. And it's like, how many more Mo's can we get? He said, Troy, we can get unlimited. You know, he's connected with the best universities. All those people are sharp. And from there, I'm like, well, let's start a company. So we started that company 5 years ago, and with like 5, 6 people. Half of them were on my team. And then now we're up to like 250.
Wow.
Yeah, 250 VAs working at different clients all over the country. Attorneys, trucking, contractors, dentists, a lot of insurance agents, because we eat our own dog food at like Pinnacle. Obviously, I own Pinnacle too, so I can show how to use VAs quite easily just because they're in my agency. I'm talking to them every day.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
it's been a fun journey. In fact, I got a little Savvital gift bag for you.
Oh, wow.
Do you want to open it up?
I'll open it up right now. That's awesome.
Uh-huh.
Oh, this looks like a box of chocolates.
Yeah.
Grand. And, oh, is it like a shirt?
Yeah, put it up.
Delegate.
Not delegate.
Delegate, not delegate again. Awesome. That's super cool.
And that's what it's all about. That's what I mean. I love that shirt because if you want to grow and scale your business, you got to learn to delegate, whether it's just you. And you've delegated. Look, how many employees do you have, Wymond?
Oh, we got 24.
24.
Right,
so yeah, it was probably a big decision to hire 1 and 2 and 3, at the beginning. It becomes easier and easier, but that's our whole goal as a company is we help companies delegate those tasks that are like the non-revenue generating tasks in your business or the revenue generating, but we want your local employees to be more focused on generating the revenue and getting, deepening those relationships with customers and referral partners and upselling rather than inputting data into a CRM. So that's what our VAs are great at. But at my agency, they answer our phones. They're great at that. They put in claims. They do changes. They do everything but sell because you need a license to sell.
Gotcha.
So they can really do anything, and they can do anything for a lot of businesses out there.
I'm going to toss you a little bit harder question on this because I don't always toss softballs, hopefully, on questions.
Oh, boy.
My concern sometimes with like a virtual agency, I'm sure you have this, if they're customer front facing, the accents that you have, with sending the overseas, I'm not trying to make it a racial thing. It's just, I think our customers or people just naturally go, oh, that's an accent. That's going way overseas. Yeah. We're not keeping business in our community. And like, maybe even like our business, right? If I was to do virtual assistants in a different country, they don't get that it's 30 below here, right? You know what I mean? They don't always understand that. So if I'm using them as a customer service rep and they're calling in for a heating issue, it doesn't feel like they're connected with them. If that makes sense, it's almost like a neuro encoding kind of thing. That's what.
It's a good point. Good question. One is you can tell them, okay, 30 below. First of all, you have to go to Celsius because they don't understand Fahrenheit. But hey, all stuff you can train on. It's cold as hell today. So look at the weather every morning in Blaine, Minnesota, and use that as, okay, are you staying warm today? It's cold. All they have to do, the internet's an amazing tool. They know it instantly. Okay, now you can build that into your talk track. But when you go to Verizon, you go to Comcast, you go to Microsoft, they're all putting you into a call center. And I think us as Americans understand that, okay, you're in a call center, you're able to, but if you can, even if you have an accent, if you solve my problem quickly and fix my issue with my cell phone, whatever, I'm going to be okay with it. But if you drop the ball, I don't care if you have a great Minnesotan accent, I'm going to be pissed. So I think we've gotten past the accent thing. Our people don't have strong accents either, but
that probably helps too.
Yeah,
if it's that strong accent, or you have to keep saying, "Excuse me, what'd you say?"
Yeah,
I noticed that sometimes when I've gotten customer support, it's almost hard to understand what they're saying.
Yeah,
and that's really frustrating.
That can be frustrating. But our goal is not anti-American worker. Our goal, I like to say, we're pro-American worker, because a business becomes really constrained if it has to hire all local people to do tasks that you might have to pay someone $50,000 a year here. You can pay someone overseas half that. That means you can hire another salesperson to grow your business even more. You can hire someone to do customer service review calls where you're really touching the customers. Now they're blown away with your time to call them back and your customer service. So I don't think it's, plus you can pay your employees more. If you can offload some of those tasks, you don't have to hire another 50,000. But all your other people you can give them a nicer raise. Plus you're making more money as a business owner, because we're in business to make more profit, right? And I know a guy like you, Wymond, is going to invest that right back into the business and grow the business anyway.
Right.
So I think it's pro-American if you look at it, because you're just taking some of those tasks that nobody really wants to do and helping grow and scale your business faster and pay people more and yeah, you'll probably be able to hire more local people too if you're making more money.
Absolutely. How much good can you do for the community if you're able to build your business in the community, right? And
Yeah.
that includes possibly if you do use VAs and give them better service.
Boom, you nailed
I
it.
think that's what it
Like
is.
I got 5 full-time VAs, and let's say I'm paying $100,000 a year. Well, I might only have 2 full-time local people, if that, for $100,000 a year.
Right.
So, and we are growing our local team like crazy too. So I'm not saying we're putting the VAs in the place of local employees. We're just hiring more salespeople, more people to move the needle and grow us even faster.
Yeah.
I think that's the goal. And then you're right. You make more money, you can be more charitable and give it away to the community in other ways.
Yeah. You're really creating better efficiencies within the company by being able to do that.
You got it.
Because you're right, absolutely. I feel like there's a lot of people out there that are asking for data entry jobs, but they also want 3 times the pay from what a CSR is making, right? A customer service rep. And, I would rather, if it's just data entry where they're not front facing and they're good at it and it does go overseas,
But front-facing people are pretty amazing too. I mean, you can call our agency. You'll be blown away at how friendly and knowledgeable our people are.
I feel like I haven't had to call Pinnacle lately, only because I think we do most of our residential stuff with you guys.
Yeah.
I know we did business for a while, but yeah, that business end of it is so competitive too.
Yeah.
And every dollar counts for us right
Oh, yeah.
now
I
in
hear you.
business, just because of the economy and what's been going on. But I feel like it's going to start turning around here too.
Yeah. Let's be positive,
I
right?
agree. The one thing that, when we met and talked about virtual assistants, it really does, your philosophy of face-to-face relationships and human connection, I know you say that over the phone, you still have that somewhat, but I still feel like it's got to be that connection, right? How do you reconcile that with virtual assistants?
Oh, that's easy. I have a VA that manages my email. I have VAs that do everything at the office, so I can come and do a podcast with you. I can go visit my clients. I can go talk to my referral partners instead of being in my office doing emails and phone call. I have someone that's all over it. She calls me in the morning. This is like an executive assistant. Troy, you have A, B, C, D to do. These are on your calendar today. I like to cut through the noise and not even have to check my phone. I want someone to call me. Her name's Diane. She's great. And then she'll call me at the end of the day today too and say, did you do this? This is what I did. Do you want me to respond to this email? I mean, she does things like set up the dog groomers. Like I couldn't get our dogs groomed till January, and we have Christmas coming up. So this was last week. I'm like, call every dog groomer around here and get us in as soon as possible. She got one in like 2 days, and they did a great job. I'm like, we're going to our school gala, and they keep bugging us about what our meals are going to be and what kind of cocktail we want and stuff like that. I'm like, you handle it. Call my wife and get what she wants for her meal and
get the deets.
Yeah. And then send the email. And sometimes she sends the email in her person as my executive assistant. Sometimes she just responds as me.
Yeah.
So, but what that does allows me to free me up to go move the needle and do higher leverage meetings with things that will bring more money into Pinnacle and Savvital.
It sounds like you have that Buy Back Your Time book down pretty well. I don't know if
Dan
you read
Martell?
that book. Yeah. I think somebody, maybe it was you, advised me, you or
Probably
Jeff
Salzbrun.
Salzbrun, said, read Buy Back Your Time. So I have an assistant that helps me in the office, but not at the level.
You had your assistant read the book?
Yes, I did. She helped. She understood
Give me the
plan.
Cliff Notes.
Yeah, pretty
I don't have time to read this.
But she at least understood the principle of it.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
trying to get to where you're going, right? And you're obviously you run Savvital as a CEO. You obviously have trained your assistants to have that mindset.
Yeah.
For the person. So
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, 250 people, and I've delegated all the way down to I couldn't even come close to running that business by myself. So it's all about delegation to free your time up to do things like get on this awesome podcast.
Oh, appreciate that.
Right.
Kind words. The other thing that I noticed since we've been talking too is like, you don't really have your cell phone on, like we talked about, or your cell phone. And I remember you telling me you forward all your phone calls pretty much to your VA.
I don't do that as much as I could or should, but like when I'm on vacation and stuff, I do.
Okay.
Because, but it's funny. My wife called one of the times I did do that, and Diane answered, and she wanted to chew my ass. So my wife was like, "Diane, will you call my husband and chew his ass for me?" So it's a nice little buffer if you get in fights with your wife a lot. To have an executive assistant like take the calls. It was so funny.
So I know your trick now.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have
exactly.
to try that and not let my wife know.
Yeah, exactly.
I always love that beer commercial. I think it was a beer commercial. It was like, because you appreciate football, right? Then you get that ref and they pan in and he's getting yelled at by, like, the ref is getting yelled by the coach, right? And then they pan into him, they pan back out, and then his wife is doing it. And
That sounds about right.
That stoic face going. Like no emotion whatsoever.
That's the truth.
So you get used to it, but with a VA, you don't have to worry about getting used to it.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, anything else a virtual assistant can do for you besides?
They can do outbound sales. If you have lists of people you want to call and sell to, they can do that. Like for your company, they could call all your current clients, and just say, Merry Christmas, do you need any, by the way, we do electric. This is a new product that we offer. Do you need anything done around the house electric? We'll give 20% off to returning clients. I'm just thinking off the top of my head, but a lot of times we as business owners think we should be doing that, or our local people should be doing that. But does it ever happen? Usually not, because they always find other crap to do. So if you want to, like, we have them calling our former clients and our quoted not sold at Pinnacle just to we have all their information. It's like, can we take another look at your quotes? Sure. And then we have our sales team call them. I mean, why not? It's better. I mean, that's low hanging fruit. That's like free money that if you don't call them, you're not going to be able to sell them. So they can do proactive sales calls. They can do inbound calls, digital marketing, social media, and any kind of social media, help generate Google reviews, help manage your CRM. Pretty much anything that can be done online, they can do.
And that helps you free up your time to actually do the face-to-face in-person thing that you're better at, or that's your main intention.
You should be doing.
Yeah. No, I love it. It's all good stuff. It gives me a lot of food for thought, and especially our audience who do run a business, and you don't know how many business owners I've talked to that said, "Oh, I should make touchback phone calls," or I should be, calling them back and asking them on their quotes, but then they get afraid to do it because, well, am I bugging them too much? Well, no, you can always lay it on your assistant that says, "Hey, they're just doing their job, right?
Yeah.
Like we want to make sure you're taking care of it."
Wymond asked me if you had any further questions. I'm just Wymond's assistant. I'd love to see if you had any questions on the quote we put together.
And the key to it is staying in front of them to make sure you get the close.
Yeah, you nailed it.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
Good stuff here.
Mm-hmm.
With that, we're going to go to a break. I'm going to delegate it over to Dan to take care of the breaks.
Give Dan a delegate shirt too.
That's right. Anoka Meals on Wheels, a nonprofit organization that I proudly support, delivers more than just nutritious meals to seniors in our community. They deliver connection, care, and peace of mind. Their volunteers don't just drop off food. They check in, share a smile, and ensure our neighbors know they're not forgotten. I know because I am one of those volunteer drivers. Help us keep serving those who need it most. Visit mowanoka.org to volunteer, donate, or learn more about Anoka Meals on Wheels. nourishing bodies and spirits one meal at a time. Tired of lugging heavy bags of water softener salt from the store? Twin City Heating, Air, and Electric now delivers premium water softener salt right to your home in returnable, reusable 20-pound containers to go green and light it up to save you from injury. Serving the north suburbs, we're your neighbors who know how hard our water is. No more running out of salt and dealing with spotty dishes and stiff laundry. Quality salt, reliable delivery, local service you can trust. Because at Twin City Heating, Air, and Electric, we don't just keep your home comfortable, we keep your water soft and your life easy. Twin City Heating, Air, and Electric, now with water softener salt delivery. Call today or visit us online. Hey, if you're enjoying this show, we'd really appreciate it if you could take a second to hit that subscribe button. It helps us reach more listeners. And if you're feeling extra generous, leaving us a review or a rating would mean a lot to us. So it only takes a few minutes, but it really makes a big difference in helping other people discover the show, and small businesses in the Twin Cities area help them improve too. You can find us wherever you get your podcasts, and don't forget to follow us on Facebook at Twin City Tales Podcast for behind the scenes content, episode updates, and more. And we are back with the incomparable Troy Thompson.
Thanks, Wymond. I like that.
So, as through the break, I was thinking, man, I feel like as a small business owner, I could use an executive assistant. What's the process like going through it, and what's the cost?
Thank you for asking, Wymond, and I'm glad you brought that up because it's a really cool process. We don't make you sign anything. You get to interview 3 candidates. If you don't like those 3 candidates, we always have more. We have unlimited people available that are amazing, but you will be blown away. You go through an interview, you get to meet them, see, first of all, do I like this person? Could I see this person doing a good job for me? Ask them whatever kind of questions you have, and then you would make the decision to move forward. Our contract is month to month. It's $15 an hour. You get someone full-time for $2,300 a month. And a nice benefit with that is you don't have to deal with any of the unemployment or payroll taxes or social security taxes, all the extra fees and taxes associated with having a local employee. Like this Paid Family Medical Leave Act is coming up in Minnesota, so that wouldn't apply either. So if you have people out, you can work with us to fill those gaps as well. But that's how it works. No obligation, month to month. You give us a month notice, you can be out of the contract. But we always tell you to give it at least 3 months to really move the needle, because it does take a little bit of time to ramp someone up and teach them how you want them to do work for you. So that's how the process works.
There's a learning curve to any of that, and they got to get to know you too. Even though you go through the interview, they really got to know your process and how your culture is, because they'll fit in your culture if you train them right.
You're right.
Your culture,
and you treat them like a local person. Get them on those Teams meetings. We have ours on our Slack meetings every morning. 5 days a week, they're on Slack calls. So we really get to know them. We had our annual team meeting. We had a big smart TV screen. All their faces were up, watched like they were in the room with us. We had lunch together. They ate with us. And we weren't able to send them food. We probably could have figured out a way, but they ate with us. And they're local. They're like a local part of the team. Yeah. You got to treat them like that if you want to succeed.
I suppose.
Yeah.
But you can't take them out to the Texas Roadhouse.
No, can't do that.
Oh, you could. It's an expensive bill, I bet, getting their airfare over. But
absolutely. That's a little bit hard. It might be tough getting them here.
That's the beauty of it, though, too, right? Because you're not dealing with the taxes. You're not dealing with the PFML. It's a good workaround if we run into having employment issues. Because I feel like some of it is people don't want to do that work for what the society or standards of paying them are, right?
Exactly.
Some of these people that have been around for a while that are doing data entry are we getting paid $35 an hour. And as a small business owner, especially a startup, right? And you need somebody to do data entry.
Yeah.
they usually can't afford that kind of
No.
money. Plus, you throw on the insurance, you throw on the health, the benefits. It gets expensive.
adds up.
You can't survive as a small business owner.
No. And our people use AI too. I want to touch on that real quick. We love AI. We embrace the heck out of AI. And we want to make AI part of your business with your permission. Like anybody that works with us, we're like, well, could this data entry be done through AI? We'll still sit on top of it, but instead of them only doing manual data entry, they can watch the AI do some of the work and then be more effective to do more stuff within your company.
I don't think the AI is like the answer to all your problems, like some people think it is. Like it's going to answer it automatically, because it's like computers, right? Garbage in, garbage out. You still have to have somebody managing the data, going through the data. I mean, if you've used ChatGPT or and ask it to send you a letter out and you give it kind of a general idea, I can guarantee you have to change something in there. Like it doesn't quite word it out the way you want it. And it'll learn you, and it'll learn from how you do it and how you speak, but it still can never get it exactly the way you want it or the feel you get from it. And you have to constantly correct it. So it is a managed thing. Yeah. It isn't going to automatically be able to figure it out.
Yep. So. At least not yet. But if you don't embrace AI at all, your job's going to be gone. I would like to say that, because you have to learn to embrace this technology that's coming. It's here. Use it. Be 10 times more effective than your competition, and your job will be secure. If you don't use it, your job's going to be gone.
I still have 8-track tapes that I'm hoping will come back.
Love it. I'll throw them in. Well, people use records.
It's actually making a comeback.
It is.
But by golly, I just saw, I hate to say it, I was at Target doing, well, we don't usually typically give out ideas of when we're doing these podcasts, but it's around Christmas, and I was out Christmas shopping. The Fall Out Boy album, or even the Nirvana album where the little baby is swimming in the pool, $38 at Target for an album. Yeah, for the Nirvana album.
Weird.
Yeah, I think I bought it for $7.99.
You can get it for free online.
You get an album for free? Oh, the music, but not the record. I remember buying it from Down in the Valley record back in, for you old timers that remember Down in Golden Valley. You could buy bongs there and stuff like that. And they had records, and it was like $7.99. I remember almost any album you can get back in the 80s for $7.99.
That is crazy.
Those days are gone.
Yep.
But this is the part where I get to show you some pictures that your wife sent me over. And there's a few good ones in here. I'm going to start with such a cute family. This is like a little younger. It's you getting wrestled and your favorite sport, football. You're hanging on to that. Looks like a little fall weather. Do you remember when that was taken? And
yep, her sister Glenda took that picture, and I think Ty was probably 1, and Tatum was a little over 2. So I do remember where it was. I forgot the name, but I do remember that day. That was a fun day.
12, 13 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then here, I think that might have been your first kid, maybe your second. I can't tell.
What shirt is that? Oh, that's just the.
But I know it looks like you're at the hospital.
It's a fleece, yes. They made you put on the. It's probably Tatum. I think it looks like Tatum, first baby. That was fun.
Very special moment.
Nothing better.
It is, isn't it? Nothing better than that. Like
nothing
better. The world just kind of stops when you are.
Very magical. I remember she had a football head too. So speaking of football, I'm like going to the doctor. I'm like, shoot, what's going on with his head? And he's like, oh, it goes back. And, and there's another Asian guy in the room. Same dad like me. He's like, what's going on with my baby's head? They don't prepare us dads for the heads.
They don't, do they? Because they come on kind of, they do grow into shape, but yes, they're kind of a little misformed when they first come.
Total football heads. I'm like, put the dang beanie back on this kid's head. I don't want to see it.
What was that old cartoon that's not as bad as that? Hey Arnold, didn't that kid have like a football head pretty much?
Cone heads, remember that movie?
It's a cone. Yeah.
Oh man, that was fun.
And this was, it looks like you were a multi-sport athlete here, and the buttons.
Oh, Mama put that out there. Yep, little soccer, little baseball.
You were probably about 12 there, maybe?
Yeah, maybe 12, 13, something like that. That was indoor soccer.
Okay.
Indoor soccer was pretty fun.
So you did that in the winter, not so fall was still your football sport.
Yep. And then baseball, yeah.
Yeah.
There I am, man.
Pretty cool.
I wish I could give you more context to that, but
I think it was just the buttons that your parents made up, and they got to wear it with pride on their their purse or whatever, and they carry that around. But here's one that's interesting. You had hair in this one.
Oh yeah, that was Southwestern. That's Tim Ritzer. He was one of our sales managers and first year. Yep.
So Southwestern would go up to UMD and recruit?
Oh yeah, that's the whole thing. You recruit in different colleges and universities. Okay. So you just sell the dream of, we'll teach you to run a business. You'll make a shitload of money. Like I made $20,000 a year, all 3 summers for 3 months of work in the summer.
That's pretty good for 20
Heck yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
you get to travel, right? Like into the different
areas. But it
wasn't
wasn't necessarily sightseeing.
Yeah,
sightseeing on the dirt roads all day long, going up. You really get to meet the people.
It's like when they used to sell the Army, Navy, and Marines, right? They used to, on commercials, they'd say, see the world, travel the world. Yeah. And in all reality, you're doing military
cleaning
stuff.
Shitters. Cleaning latrines.
It's cleaning latrines and scraping potatoes.
Oh, yeah. That was like an end of the year banquet, I think.
For the book selling.
For book selling, yeah.
And you were top, like,
oh, yeah. President's Club, all that stuff.
That's awesome.
Won all the trips. We went to Puerto Rico, I think, in a cruise one year. It was over Thanksgiving break. For when you're in school, and that's when you go on there. They're called Sizzler trips. Make the Sizzler.
Did you have to go eat at the Sizzler?
No. It was, trust me, when you're that young and with all your buddies, oh man, we had fun.
I just always think of when I hear the Sizzler is from Happy Gilmore. Remember, he tells Shooter McGavin, that guy that's like gooning it up and like the nemesis. He goes, "Hey, I got some money now. Shooter, you want to meet at the Sizzler for lunch? I'm buying."
Such a good movie.
And then I could not get past a picture without your dad and your brother. And your dad is awesome, like we talked about in business. And your brother is very special to you. Is he older or younger?
Younger. He's like 3.5 years younger.
Okay.
Nick, he's got cerebral palsy. So that made me really, probably made me who I am. That was a big part too. Not only my dad and my mom, who's no longer with us, but my brother, seeing how much effort, especially my mom, put into raising my brother as I grew up, was like, I have no excuses not to get good grades, not to, to not get in trouble, to be successful. Because I see my brother with such a good attitude that can't walk and lives in a group home and stuff. So I always remember that. And he's a great example, great role model for everyone, for me too. I mean, he's way more happy than I am. So,
we really are, at least for me, I'm really appreciative of my brother-in-law who has, he's low functioning, Down syndrome, autism, and you realize how special they are and how they really are blessed. And you're blessed to have that relationship with them. And these group homes, I really are more and more like trying to support them in better ways, because a lot of fundings have been cut for them just because of the economy and everything, right? And I know we want our relatives, especially that can't advocate for themselves, be helped at a high level. So
you're right.
I encourage people, if you can, help the community out with a little bit of outreach to some of these group homes.
Yeah. I don't even know how that works with, Medicare and stuff. Like I know my brother can't even have more than X amount of money in his bank account.
Yeah.
So I don't know how the funding works, other than we really need to watch over these special people to make sure they're not exploited or neglected, right?
Yep.
So we try to get together every weekend with Nick, and
that's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
We take Mickey out for breakfast every other week, and he just loves it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's his thing.
He's a foodie.
Yeah.
Same with Nick. He loves going out to restaurants. And just,
Yep. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go back to the one picture, this one.
Mm-hmm.
And the question that I have for you is, knowing what you know now, everything you know about wins, losses, and pivots, what would you tell that young Troy Thompson in that picture?
The biggest is not drink as much or at all, and not chase women as much or at all, because it's overrated. And you can be, I have some very successful sales people at Pinnacle right now that I'm like, man, you guys have it together. You're not idiots. Like I was making $100,000 a year when I was 22 years old. It wasn't a big deal to be making a lot of money, but just priorities weren't in the right spot at all.
Yeah.
Even close. So delay gratification, work your ass off in your 20s and even in your 30s. And then luckily I was able to kind of skip and party my butt off in my 20s and still make something out of my life. But a lot of people, it's like you're really setting yourself up for failure if your only focus is what we're drinking, who we're hanging out with, what ladies we're going to go out with tonight. I mean, women will follow you. Take care of yourself. And the women, if you keep going like this, the women will go like this, but they'll always keep following you up. But if the women are like this and you keep going with them, it's not a good idea.
Yeah, there's such a balance to it, right? Especially if you find a really good woman that, I'm really blessed. My current wife is making me a better person, right? And I think you have to grow with them. I think sometimes when you're 18, 19, 20 years old, you kind of feel like it's the whole world around you, right?
Yeah,
that
exactly.
person. But it really isn't. And when you start realizing, like when you're 22, 23, 24, they got to start growing with you.
Yeah. And you got to realize I got to take care of my life. It's not, I got to focus on my career, my future. If you find a great woman, great. I mean, I'm not opposed to, like Sarah's got some nieces and nephews that have all married young and have beautiful kids already. And it's like, you don't have to wait till you're 35 to get married. I mean, you can get married when you're 22 if you find the right one and have a lot of kids and enjoy your life. And so just kind of dovetails with what I said about, it's overrated to party and get in that scene and womanizing scene and all that. It's like not all it's cracked up to be.
Agreed. Absolutely. And sometimes those little distractions get in your way, and a good person, a good partner will be able to grow with you. I think that's a key. And it's work. It's not easy. I mean, both sides, no matter how you look at it. So,
it's not easy to never get married. It's like Idiocracy. Going back to that, it's like the stupid people get married or have a bunch of kids, like, and then they keep multiplying. The people that are college educated and stuff, they're like, let's wait another year till we get through this phase of our life. Then they're like 40, 45 wanting to have kids and they can't.
Yeah.
It's like, have kids. There's nothing better than that.
And you'll never be ready for it. Everybody worries about like, oh my gosh, I don't have enough money or I'm not quite saved up for it. You'll figure it out.
Yeah. Even Dave Ramsey, he's all about budgeting, but the one thing he says is have kids and figure it out. He doesn't say don't have kids because they're not in the budget.
Yeah.
You'll figure that part out.
Yeah. I think that even follows along with everything else, not just in it's like business as in life, right? Like have somewhat the abundance mindset. Don't hold back
Yeah.
because something
Take chances. You got to.
take some chances here and there. Absolutely.
You wouldn't be here if you hadn't taken some chances and bought my dad's building and started your company. And I want to hear your story. You got to talk about your story
Oh
more
my
too.
goodness. We have an episode planned. I'm hoping Dan will interview me.
Oh, good.
Dan doesn't get out too much in front of the camera. He's better looking than me. That's why I can't have him out here. Because it'll make me look bad in my looks, but that's all right. No, so 10 years from now, what does success look like for Troy Thompson?
I used to always say I want to be content, but I finally come to grips with I don't think being content is healthy either. I want to be happily uncontent and always growing, because I think that's where I'm happiest, is growing, struggling, but accomplishing stuff still. I may or may not have both of my companies still, but no intention to sell either of them, because why would you sell a successful company? You know, it's
Absolutely.
continuing to make you money. Then what are you going to do?
Right.
If you retire, like I'll be 60 in 10 years. Do I want to just be sitting around twiddling my thumbs?
Play golf like your dad does.
No, I don't think so. I don't like golf.
You don't? You
No,
don't hang
I
out
get
with
frustrated.
You don't hang out with your dad pounding eggs?
No,
No.
no. It's maybe I'll find something at that point, but hopefully the kids are successfully out of the house and doing well in life.
Yeah.
That's what I'd like to see. And my wife and I still continuing to be happy, and the businesses continuing to grow and double and triple and 10x in size. That's where I want to be.
That's great. And that's really the main thing, is like our kids, right? Like you just want them to be successful and a productive member of society.
That's
and
it.
happy.
That's our job.
That's our big thing. Absolutely.
I'll push back a little bit on happy. I don't think we always need to be happy.
Oh, I see your point.
Yeah, I mean, what is happy? I mean, happy where I'm going to sit at home and play video games and be happy, or I'm going to know that, like, what's the quote? Hard work now equals an easy life later. An easy life now equals a hard life later. And I always beat that into my kids too. It's like, you don't want to always do the easy, fun stuff right now. You got to work out. You got to read books. You know, I bought my son a chess game, and he doesn't like chess, but I was telling my wife, we could buy him a Lego set for $400 because he's at that age where he needs a super nice 18 plus Lego set, or buy him this chess set for $400. The nice $400 Lego set he'll work those Legos and have the time of his life for 2 or 3 days till it's built, and then he'll never touch it again. But this chess set, this digital chess set that literally will play against you. You can play people around the world. It'll teach you how to play chess. That's something he can use forever and stimulate his brain forever. I'm like, it's a no-brainer. We're getting him the chess set.
That's pretty cool. I wish I would have had more mentality like that when I was younger with my kids. I just remember one time the teacher said about our kid, like, he's really smart, if he applies himself, they can really go far. I'm thinking to myself, wait a second, if they go far, that means college, which means money. Here's a Game Boy, kid. Get going.
That's funny.
No, we want our
was
kids to succeed, obviously. But that's
so good.
That's that poor man's mentality, right?
It is.
Not growing.
Oh, man.
So this is the portion. I forgot to almost ask you, who's someone you'd love to hear on this podcast and why? We had talked about that a little bit.
Wow. We did talk about it, and I got so many smart people in my life.
There are we're blessed to have good people around us.
They're great people. You want them in person, right?
It could be anybody. It could be I might not be able to get them, but just somebody who you would like. I mean, I know when we talked about it, you said Jeff Salzbrun, and I said, I already had him on here.
Oh, Jeff.
But maybe I can have him on again.
We got to recreate how you and Jeff met, because I still like to say it was me.
I think it was. We did talk about that. You did introduce us. So
good.
I'm going to give you the credit.
I get the
no
credit,
matter what.
yes.
Exactly.
I love all the people on my team. I think some of the sales guys would be fun for you to interview. They're all young and hungry, and there's a guy right here in Blaine. I mean, his name's Kareem. He's Egyptian. He's Muslim, which is fine. He's just a stud, though. He just came in and wrote like a record-breaking month, his first month of being licensed. So if you want to have a sales guy,
wow,
it might be good to get insight on his.
Do you think he does it because he's got such a drive to win, or do you think he does it because he has a drive like to help people? Like, I mean, I think you can have them both, but there's sometimes one's
more win, more competitive.
Out. Yeah,
I like to sell Pinnacle as sports for adults. So we compete. He's already won the belt. We have this legit championship belt that's customized. It's like legit. We
like
pay
the
a lot of money
like
for
the one that John Cena would carry around.
We pay a lot of money for these customized belts. All of them have gotten them when you get over 100. But Kareem, his first month, wanted that belt so bad. Of course, I don't have my ring, but we have like a Super Bowl ring too. I didn't wear it today. I was thinking, like, dang, I could have showed that on the podcast. But that's what he's going after next.
Oh, that's
but I
super
think
cool.
I'll say Kareem Del Hassan.
Okay.
So I'll give you his information if you want it.
Yeah, I'll reach out to him and we'll bring him on.
Is this only for business owners or?
It's for anybody. Their stories. I mean, I've had Maya Nishikawa, who's not a business owner. She was a WCCO reporter, and she just said, "I'm done being a reporter. I'm good with it." You know, a lot of fame and a lot of popularity there, but she, 11 years, she decided, I'm going to help special ed students, special education. I'm going to go into special education. So, yeah, just a lot of different neat stories. I've had some business owners, but there's a few others that weren't the business owner. Dan, do you remember any of them that? Most of them are. Adam Irwin wrote a book. Some of them just starting their own business. But I do have a few. I don't know why I can't think of it off the top of my head right now. I know I've had a few. Oh, Stacy Buchanan. She had an interesting story. She's the banker.
She's the banker. Oh, yeah. We all know her.
Yeah. She's great at what she does. So, yeah, I've had quite a few. Danielle Petchel. She was the Abracadabra person, business development. So we've had business development people on here, and she moved on.
Is it Steve with the printer company? Right here, Midwest Imaging.
I haven't had a Marcus.
No,
I'm getting Marcus on here.
Oh,
he was interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, he's like 22 years old, 21 years old. He's going to St. Thomas College right now.
Okay.
But his is really interesting. I haven't talked to him that much, but he actually he shouldn't even be here right now. He was really sick when he was little. And I want to say he was in Haiti, and Sean Penn was involved in this, and he was able to, Sean Penn procured a jet to bring him over to get him medical treatment. I mean, it'd be really cool to know that whole story. So, but he ended up it was a Salzbrun knows the kid, introduced him to Scott Vonderhaar of Midwest Imaging and got him a job there. But just a fantastic young man who's really making a way for himself, you know, predominantly small white neighborhood in Wisconsin. And, obviously just a smart, bright young man getting some chances in life. And he's really appreciating it. So
that's what it's all about. I love what you're doing here, Wymond.
I appreciate that. And talking about that, my appreciation for you, I got some, you're going away, your gift. I got a couple gifts for you here. Well, I'm going to start off with everybody that comes on, a little memento for being on the show.
Thank you.
Your very own trophy.
Thank you.
And
it's
then
even customized.
It is customized. And then, of course, your own podcast mug. Got to dig that.
Looking
and
good.
Since it's the new year, I got fortune cookies in
Yes!
a box for you.
I was going to have some of those fortune cookies. I was going to ask you for one.
That one is in a child-proof box, so it's so you have to rip off the tab, then you got to
My
open
wife
it
should
up.
get these for me. So I eat all the cookies when she makes them.
And then the last one is, I know you've had a lot of success, but a guy named Darren Hardy, I don't know if you know who he is.
Mm-hmm.
He wrote the book Compound Effect.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what you're doing out there.
Thank you.
Like anybody that knows who you are are into so many different things, and you know how the actual compound effect really works. And I don't know if you've read that book yet, but it's actually...
I will read it again if I have.
It's always good to read. Like, I'll reread some books to remind me, like, what...
I hardly ever read. I buy books. I'm the best.
I
buy 5 to 10 new books a month.
Do you do that Audible books?
Yeah,
I try to do
Audible
that
too.
more. Yeah.
But I do like the hardcovers.
Yeah.
Just because I love putting them in my library and looking at them.
Yeah, and there's something about physically holding a book and reading it too.
Kind of like we were talking about. I mean, there's nothing else you can do if you have a book. You can't be on your phone.
Right.
Reading. I've tried. And it's like, I've had a podcast on and I'm trying to read a book at the same time. Impossible.
No, multitasking is, we think we're good at it, but
you ain't
we're
that
not.
good. You can't read and listen at the same time. Thanks, Wymond.
Yeah, no, I appreciate, and I can't thank you enough for coming on Twin City Tales podcast. If you want to learn more about Troy Thompson, you can Google Pinnacle Insurance Minnesota, or if you're interested in the virtual assistance business that he's in, you can Google Savvital Virtual. Probably the only one when you're on Google.
And you're not going to find any other Savvitals. Savvital.
Yep. .us. I noticed that was your website. We're going to have a picture of it during this program of that website. So, or you can also be like me, the lazy way, go on Facebook and you'll find it on our Facebook page. We'll post it on there.
Nice.
As we roll out of here, I want to thank Chris Hockey for the use of his song Thanks, with no pun intended, obviously. I truly am thankful for everything that we have and him writing helping us with that song. This podcast is powered by Twin City Heating and Electric. And until the next show, you can't go wrong with Wymond Wong on your Twin City Tales podcast.
This song goes out to my family, to all the ones who died before me. I'm sure the family life made you do things you never wanted to, so I wrote this song to say thank you for the breath that I just took, for the life my son